I am W, and this is my world. And today is Story Time Sunday. It's when I have a story that's in my head and I bring it out to you. Now I'm going to continue the Black Box series, and I want to talk, a little bit about domestic violence. So, in this story, I call Payback's a Bitch. So, there was this woman who been married to this guy for like 6 years. Now, when they were dating, he was such a gentleman. He's never laid a hand on her. He never cheated on her. He treated her with absolute respect. So she married him within, the first 6 months, because she was just, this man has I never met a man so great in my life. Because when she was younger, she used to get abused by her dad and sexually harassed by her dad. And the mother would watch but would never do anything. So she thought that's how relationships are supposed to go. The dad was beating on her, the mom, and the kids. Like, it just was ridiculous. But no one did anything. So in her mindset, that's how it's always got to be. The man has top say over everything. But the second they got married, the very next day, he beat on her so bad that she ended up in the hospital. And she lied and said that, she fell down the steps. So over the course of the 6 years, he's been beating on her, cheating on her. He would even bring in women and have sex in their bed and send her out to the living room until they finish. It was that kind of relationship. One day, he forced himself on her, because that's what he normally does. When he wants sex, he would just take it without asking. But one day, she got pregnant. He was so upset with that she got pregnant. Called her a whore and all types of nasty, vile names. He said, the second that baby come out, I want to test it, because you obviously been cheating on me. So, she will continue to be raped by him, cook for him, and she had the hardest time. He even stopped sleeping with her because he said her pussy was too hairy. So he said he's not sleeping with a hairy woman. So if she didn't shave, she wasn't getting no D, and that's how it was. She was 7 months into the pregnancy, and she's moving along just fine. And one day he got upset with her because she didn't give him, forgot to put mayo on a sandwich. So she goes up there, she gives him the sandwich. He bites into it and spits it out. He was in the bedroom. He said, "Stupid bitch." He said, "It don't have no mayo on it." She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I must have forgot." So he drags her out to the stairs, and he just chucks her down the stairs. And they got about a good 17 steps, and she tumbled all the way down and landed hard on her stomach. Instantly, she was, in critical condition, and he didn't care. He went back in the room and shut the door. She crawled to her coat that had her cell phone in it, and she dialed 911, and shortly after they came and carried her out. He went downstairs to see what was going on. He said, "Ma'am, sir, is this your wife?" He said, "Yeah, when you done with her, just bring her back." And he goes back in the house. So she goes to the hospital by herself. She's, critical condition. Her eyes is blurred. She can barely see. And she wakes up in the hospital about 2 hours later. And the nurse, looked her in the eye. She said, "Ma'am, you lost your baby due to the fall." And she just started instantly crying. The first thing that came to her mind was, "Oh no, my husband's he's gonna be so upset. He's gonna be so upset with me that I lost this baby." So she gets home, and she goes upstairs, and she hears a bunch of noises. She opens the door, and he was having sex. She was stricken that not only was he one who was responsible for pushing her down the stairs to lose the baby in the first place, but he decided, I'm going to have sex while my wife is in the hospital who possibly could have died. Something in her just snapped. So she seen what was going on in the room, and she just, quietly shut the door so no one would hear. She goes back downstairs, and she just started drinking some water. She looks outside, and she sees a man in a black trench coat with a black briefcase outside the kitchen window. So she figured, I got nothing to lose. I'm already wanting to die. Let me go outside and see who's this man is. So she go out there and she said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing in my yard? He said, are you tired of being pushed around? He said, are you tired of being beaten, humiliated? Your family and friends want nothing to do with you. So he gives her a black box. She said, sir, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops. He said, do what you got to do. End this. And he turns around and he starts walking away. She said, sir, you forgot your black box. He said, that's not my box, it's yours. So she goes in the house. She set the box on the nightstand. She looks up and her husband slaps her across the face. He said, what the fuck are you doing home? I said, call me. She said, I didn't hear a word you say. She said, I was unconscious. He said, yeah, right. So, what's going on with your belly? She said, baby, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the baby's lost. As she's telling him that, the baby was lost, the woman walked past him and walked out the door. And he slaps her down on the ground so hard, her head hit the ground first before her body did. And he started just stumping her face. And he said, you stupid bitch. She said, how you gonna lose our baby like that? And he beat her so bad that she was at an inch of her life. She called 911 again. They picked her up and they took her to the hospital. Now they're questioning the husband. The husband said she obviously hurt herself. She's been beating herself. She's upset that she lost the baby. And she said the same thing. She said, I'm sorry. She said, I start hitting myself. So he gets off scot-free. He goes home. And the doctor said, if he's beating on you, just call the police. She said, I did this to myself. So she calls her man after she gets at the hospital. And he didn't answer the phone. 5 times. After the 6th time, he answered the phone. He said, who the fuck is this? She said, honey, she said, I'm ready to get picked up now. He said, fuck, I just got in the bed. You walk home. It's 10 o'clock at night. So she begins walking home. It starts thunderstorming outside. It's cold. And she said, why do I put up with this? She's having a whole bunch of thoughts in her head. She said, but I love him, so I don't want to leave him. I love him, he needs me, I don't want to leave him. So when she gets inside, he said, oh, that's you? Go ahead and make me a sandwich real quick. And she's just, at this point, she's starting to get to her breaking point. She looks down at the box, and she wonders what's inside the box. When she opened the box, and the spirit flew inside her body. He said, I'm about to give you the strength to do something you should have done a long time ago. So she goes in the kitchen. She makes him a sandwich. And she gives him the plate. He takes the sandwich off the plate. And he just takes the plate and he throws it behind him, hitting her in the head. And she's bleeding. She's seeing the blood. So she had enough. She went in the kitchen. He said, oh, thank you for being thoughtful to give me a beer, bitch. And she grabs the knife and she gets behind him. She gives him the beer in front of him. And he grabs the beer. She takes the knife and she slits his throat from ear to ear. But when she starts slicing his throat, she starts slow. So it's slow and deliberate. She's listening to him gurgle. He's kicking his feet, trying to poke his finger in her eye. She's moving. She put her hand behind her head behind the hand like this, so he can't. Trying to reach for her eye, and she's still going slow, and slow but surely. And as she's going slow, she's telling him this is for all the time she didn't beat on me, cheat on me, left me for dead, and you killed our baby, you son of a bitch. And blood splatters. After that, she just looks at her hand, looks at the knife. And she drops it. She can't believe that she had the strength to kill him. But even though it's self-defense, she can still go to jail. So she goes upstairs. She snatched the shower curtain off the rack. And she lays it on the floor. She flips him off the couch that he was in. It was one of those armchair couches. And she rolls him into the shower curtain. take some tape and tape the whole thing up real good. Roll up under some more plastic so the smell will escape. Taped it up real good. She did this about 5 or 6 more times. And then she's like, okay, what am I going to do now? So she tears down the wall, and she called her sister because she's the only one she can trust. And her sister rushed over quickly. She showed her the body. She said, I need your help. So her and the sister rushes and they pick up the body, they put it inside the wall, and then they cement it. Years go by. You know, they testify. The cops say that, you know, they don't know what happened to the body. They did such a good job. It was like Dexter. If y'all seen Dexter, y'all know what I'm talking about. The cover up was amazing. You know, they cleaned all the blood up. You know, everything. Got rid of the evidence. So years go by afterwards, and she sells the house. And she sees the man in the black trench coat with the black briefcase. She walked past him. She whispers, "Thank you." And that's the end of the story. The trench coat man ain't all that bad. He has a heart. So if you like the story, give it a like, comment. You know, domestic violence is a serious subject in this matter, and people are killing themselves every day because of it. So, you know, let's try to end that. So I am MW. This is my world, and peace.